are now locked in and listening to The Issue.
This guy is a franchise quarterback, and no, I don't want to hear any pushback on that.
It feels like a top 10 roster to me. It feels like it can win a championship.
This is The Issue.
Yo, what's up? We are back. It is The Issue. Thursday, December 19th. Getting close to Christmas. Getting close to the NFL, the end of the NFL season, to be completely honest. Heading into Week 16 now. The storylines are developing. Fantasy seasons are coming to an end. Players are getting injured. Players are coming back. You have David Montgomery now going out, has to have MCL surgery. What does that mean for the Lions? The little tandem in the backfield seems to be not in shambles. I mean, you're never in shambles when you have a running back like Jahmyr Gibbs. We'll see what we get from the Lions. They will be in our top 10 teams here today.
Was that your way of telling me that you got bounced from your fantasy playoffs?
Yeah.
I guess
that's how I decided to break the news. We left Rashad Bateman on the bench. It did not look good. It's 23 points. Man. He's put up 9 points max all year this year. And then when it's going to win me the first round of the playoffs, does that. But we're going to have a good one here for you today. We have a lot of football to get to, as per usual. So we're going to start off in the first segment with Tim's rant on the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa and what that is, just the entire situation in Miami, which I feel is a little bit odd. I mean, you have a lot of talent. Your quarterback's going to go out, throw, 3 or 4 untimely or just interceptions. Looked bad. We'll get to that first. We're going to then get into hits and misses and then close out the first segment with the top 10 teams going into Week 16 here. That one should be interesting. And then that will lead us into the second, where we will predict Week 16, every pick for every game, and bets on a budget, the 5 best spreads of the week.
I tell you what, I can't wait for hit number 1. I'm taking my Buffalo victory lap so hard. Can't wait.
I mean, you should.
They looked unbelievable.
You should.
Josh Allen, MVP. Lock it up. But no, so in their same division as the Bills, there's a massive gap in not only how the organizations are run, but the talent on the field, especially at the quarterback position, where you have Josh Allen way up here. Then you have an aging Aaron Rodgers, a Tua, a Drake May. Those 3 are somewhere in tow. Order them however you'd like. Let's go to Miami, though. Of course, they lose in Houston. I don't want to say it was a close game. I never really thought that Miami had a shot till that very end, where you're like, wait a minute, can they drive the field? And then I didn't like they missed the extra point, and from that moment, I'm just like, I don't like it. And then he goes and throws a pick on the next possession, so that game was wrapped up. But I was doing this almost exact rant probably 2 or 3 different times when all the discussion was, should you pay him? Or the discussion was, does Tua deserve, whatever he ended up getting, $40 million, $45, $50? Where does he fall in this whole quarterback payment pyramid or hierarchy? I said if the number starts with a low 4, I'll hear you out, like 40, 42, right? The Baker number, roughly somewhere around there. The Daniel Jones at the time was getting that number. And I said, if that's the discussion, I'm interested. It's the same one we're having right now with Brock Purdy, right? People are like, do we pay him early? Like, do we not pay him? What's the solution? Is he going to get 50-55? Is he going to get 35-42 like he should probably? Besides the point. And I like to bring up these numbers. It's not just about, hey, is Tua good? Of course we know Tua's good. Did you watch him with Mike White and Tyler Huntley this year? Of course Tua's good. Of course Tua's valuable to that team. But what does he do against the best teams? What does he do against playoff teams? What does he do against winning teams when it matters most? What does he do? Let's just go this year. Let's start our day with a little blind resume game. We have 3 guys here. Let's start our day with a little blind resume. Winning teams, currently in the playoff teams right now. So we have Tua on one side here, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks, 88 pass rating. They're only 1-4. That's not great. And he's, 228 yards per game. Okay, not too bad. Let's go to let's say player B, we'll call him. This guy, 13 touchdowns, 13 picks. More production, more risk. I mean, because he's had 9 games. He's 3-6. Pass rating a little bit lower than Tua, but is throwing for more yards. Clearly looks a little bit more aggressive. Again, throwing more picks. Well, who's that guy? That's Kirk Cousins, and you want to bench him for Michael Penix, but Tua is not the problem in Miami. Okay, got it. Okay, let's go to the next guy. Okay, 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, so certainly not as productive. Only 4 games, though, 1-3, not looking good. Again, a little bit low over passer rating. Actually, same as Kirk, so it's 86. But a ton of yards, 285 yards per game. Who's this guy? Okay, it's Geno Smith, right? And now he's hurt now, so it's not as much of a discussion, but people in Seattle think that he's the problem. They want to run him off. Maybe I agree, yet the perception of Tua is that he's a savior. Okay, got it. Next guy. Last one, I swear. 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 75 passer rating, 0-4, so that rough for the resume. Maybe it's a team thing. 206 yards per game, so not very good. It's Trevor Lawrence, who just got a ton of money. I know you guys want to run him off. I like Trevor more than most, but again, the perception is everybody wants to run him off. So this is what I've been saying with Tua is he's not the savior of your franchise. He's not a guy that's going to go above and beyond to like a Josh Allen will, like where your defense can give up 80-something points in 2 games and you still win one. And he still looks dynamic, and he has 10 touchdowns across those 2 games. That isn't Tua. That's not going to happen against winning teams. That's not going to happen against playoff teams. He can't go on the road and win in the playoffs. He can't, because they're never going to win their division with Josh Allen. They're going to have to go on the road for the majority of the playoffs. Almost all the playoffs, most likely. So my concern with Miami, and this may be a coaching problem as well, what happens when the lights are the brightest? What happens when the team's the best? Tua doesn't perform. The team doesn't. They're 1-4. So as much as this is a Tua problem, this is a Mike McDaniel problem. How many wins do you have against winning teams? Is it 2? I saw a stat the other day. I think he has 2 wins against winning teams in his career as a coach. So yes, it's a Tua problem. I think it goes deeper than that. I think it's a coaching problem. I think it's a roster construction issue. They're a warm weather team that is in mostly a cold weather conference. There's a ton of issues, but 100% Tua is responsible for some of this, and we saw it on Sunday. Clearly, I don't want to say he lost in the game. He was absolutely a very, very large reason that Miami lost that game.
First of all, love the blind resume game. That was fantastic. Good way to break that down. 100% agree with you. I'd go a step further and say he has even more blame to take on that. If we had the pie chart of blame that we normally dish out to people, what are you giving Tua for that loss?
For this season or that loss specifically?
That loss specifically.
That loss, so it's always hard to say because you're not in the meeting rooms. You don't know exactly, the play calls, the looks, the schemes. I didn't watch any film or whatever. 80%? I mean, a defense that hasn't been that good held what we view to be as a dynamic young quarterback and a good offense, good run game, Nico Collins on the outside, to 20 points.
Right. And then
20 points. And they had a short field, too. And they put up 20 points. The Dolphins' defense was put in a tough spot multiple times because of the interceptions.
And then when it's required of you to be great. They were driving the ball down the field for the most part. Damn near got there and then throws a pick. Sorry, but if that's how you're going to perform in the big moments, then you're not going to get paid like you perform in the big moments.
That's the problem, though. What do you do going forward? Because we saw them with Tyler Huntley. We saw them with...
Sure, he's valuable.
Mike White.
But how valuable would another quarterback you can get through free agency? Maybe go grab Kirk. Maybe go grab, Russell or Justin Fields even.
Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's going to go get 40 probably on the market.
Right.
Would you rather pay him 40 or Tua 48?
By the way, it's looking this season, who's been better?
Probably Sam. He's a bigger, stronger athlete as well. Well, then my question is...
He's less injury prone?
And then also my question, we think Mike McDaniel's good. We think. What proof do we have in terms of wins and losses that he is good?
I think he's a good
coach. So what,
coach.
are you gonna get rid of Tua and then keep him?
I would say so. I think...
He's the one that signed off on Tua. Is he going to be all right with that?
I would think so. If you could give him his guy, give him a little bit of freedom with it, kind of let him help pick his guy.
Fair enough. I don't know.
That was a good one. Guys, we're going to move right on into hits and misses now. Let's go.
All right, number 1 here. I warned you at the beginning of the show. I'm taking my Buffalo victory lap.
Yeah.
I said it at the very outset of the season. Everybody wants to sell their stock because Stephon Diggs is gone, because Gabe Davis is gone, because they lose the big names in the secondary and on our defensive line. I don't care about the names that they lost. Look at the production that they lost and who they had to replace the production. They're fine. They're fine. You get a more balanced attack. You get a more cohesive team. You get Josh Allen at his best. James Cook has been fantastic, and ever since they got Josh Allen in the run game, he has been hands down the best quarterback in football. So the last 6 games last year and so far this season has been the best player, the best quarterback in football. Should be the MVP. I called it coming into the season. Buffalo was going to be good. Did I think this good? No, but we knew they were going to be good. To me, this is the best team in football. A little foreshadowing for the next segment.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. He's the best in the game right now. And you've been right on them since the beginning of the season. I definitely doubted Buffalo. I'll come out. This is a mini miss for me. I'll take that. I thought they were going to take a little bit of a step back. Obviously, I was wrong. And you know what? In the beginning of the season, they did. But it only matters how you play down the stretch. It really does. If you set yourself up for a chance at the playoffs and you can catch your stride at the right time, you will be scary in this league. Buffalo has done it. I feel like they'll always be able to do it as long as Josh Allen is the quarterback.
Who is the more talented, pure, raw, physical talent?
Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? I'll take Josh Allen.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that where that was going?
Yes.
Yeah.
What if we throw Lamar in that mix? Is Lamar a clear 3 in that?
I think Josh Allen runs almost as good as Lamar. I think he's bigger, so he's going to be healthier most of the time. But I also think he throws the football better. So I think he has...
I think Josh is way better.
More of a broad...
Would you put Lamar above Mahomes in terms of just pure talent?
Oh, no.
Okay, that's what I thought. Miss number 1 here. We didn't expect Bo Nix to be this good. We knew he was going to be good. We knew Sean Payton was a good fit, right? Accurate quarterback, a lot of college starts. He's going to come in and be pretty decent, right? Yeah. One of those... a little bit better than, but kind of like Mac Jones type ceilings. Yeah. Remember that when he came into the league, made a Pro Bowl, was like, he's pretty good right away. But we know Mac Jones isn't very, very good. Bo Nix is showing flashes of he's better than just a accurate system guy. He's better than Mac Jones. I think that was the comp coming out of college.
He's not just a
I think he's
manager.
Better than Mac Jones. He's better than Andy Dalton. He's better than that prototype that we've seen with a ton of college starts, experienced quarterback, comes out and is just pretty good and never really gets above decent in terms of 7 out of 10 quarterback.
We thought he was going to be more of a game manager type.
We expected more Andy Dalton and Mac Jones. I think I'm not saying he's unbelievable, but he's showing flashes of being better than that. Yeah. Is that fair?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. Where would you have him rookie of the year right now?
Through this point, yes.
I think so too. It's
going to be one who has his team most competitive for the playoffs.
It's going to be one where we look back and we're like, oh, Caleb Williams was a rookie in 2024. Who won the rookie? Oh, Nix won rookie of the year. They're like that. Because in 10 years, I think we're all going to know that Caleb's a better player.
Yeah, we'll see. That's a long-term one.
Come on. We all know that. Hit number 2 here. I feel like we've used this every other week now for a couple years. Anthony Richardson can't hit water if he was standing on a boat in the middle of the ocean. He was 11 for 29 at one point.
You know who this makes me think about getting back on the show?
Keen.
Yeah.
It is so clear and apparent to me that there is just no saving him as a franchise quarterback. There's just no way.
Now that's one.
You can't be that consistently bad.
Do you think the talent's there in this aspect? Because we just talked about how talented Josh Allen was, but obviously he's winning games. Where's the disconnect? Because I'm looking at Anthony Richardson.
I feel like there's a minimum bar to be. You have to be this good to be for your talent to even become a discussion.
I guess everybody in the NFL is talented at that point. So
yes, Josh is so good. You can have these. Josh and Mahomes are so good and they're accomplished and et cetera, that you can discuss who's more physically gifted, right?
Yeah.
But when you're not even a bona fide franchise quarterback, I don't even know how to have that conversation.
That's fair.
Sure, you're talented, but I
agree
you can't hit the chair sitting over there.
But I'm looking at him, and in just the specimen that I see, he looks like he should be great at football.
Sure.
He looks like he should be a great quarterback. He's built for it. He's big. He can move. He can throw. He has a great arm. And then now he comes out, and it looks like a water pistol.
This is a Colt reference. Some Colts just don't get out of the barn, Some of them just don't have what it takes. That's okay. They could be a great racehorse. They just don't have what it takes to actually physically compete in the race and be successful.
Okay, I like that one.
Thank you. Miss number 2 here. I said going into the year, watch out for the Giants to not be good, but scrappy, right? I was like, Daniel's not awful, and when you give him protection, he's pretty good, and they had a good left tackle going into the year. He's hurt now, but a good left tackle, Andrew Thomas. Like, Malik Neighbors should be pretty good. They have decent, 2 and 3 receivers, not good, but decent. Really good defensive line. You're like, I could see them being a bit of a problem, winning a couple games they shouldn't. Mm-hmm. Are they the worst team in football? They might. I think I'd take Carolina over them right now.
Would you?
Yeah.
Go head to head right now. So, quarterback.
No, I would go Bryce Young over Tim Boyle or Drew Lock. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Offensive line, they both suck. I'd probably lean Carolina a little bit.
Okay.
Running back room, I'd go probably the Giants. Receiving core, I'd probably go Giants.
Well, they're also in one of the worst situations where they're kind of stuck.
They're just bad.
Yeah.
Hit number 3 here. I feel like 2 years ago we were talking about this when Aaron Rodgers was winning MVPs 3 years ago, I guess now. Matt LaFleur's really good. He's a really good coach. It takes a lot of stones for an organization and a lot of foresight to move off a Super Bowl winning coach in Mike McCarthy and go hire the young kid, right? And the young kid at the time was Matt LaFleur. And I had my doubts. I was like, how much of this is Rodgers and how much of this is LaFleur? They were missing the playoffs in that last year with Rodgers.
I think it's evident now.
Are we sure he's the right guy? But we said a couple years back, no. He's a really good coach. I think we said it was Jordan Love's when we went to watch the Packers game in person when they came to Heinz Field last year.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not that impressed with Jordan Love.
And then
there were guys open. Like, Matt LaFleur looks like he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
We weren't impressed with Jordan Love. Now, granted, he showed a lot of steps, which, again, credit to Matt LaFleur. Is he in the... I think there's been so many other good coaching jobs this year. I don't think he's going to be Coach of the Year material. But do you think he's top 10?
Yeah, he's top 10.
Okay.
Absolutely, he's top 10. I don't think
he's
6, 7.
I don't think he's like your Tomlin, your Peyton, your Andy Reid, your McVay, your Shanahan.
He's 5. He's 6.
But would he be in that 7, second crust of coaches?
6, 7, 8, probably somewhere in there.
Like that, I don't know, LaFleur, Harbaugh, that kind of area.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Would you put Sirianni in there?
Area. Yeah, I'd put Sirianni in there.
Fair. Miss number 3 here. Dallas actually picking themselves up off the mat. I expect them to be like 2-8 at this point, 2-9. They're 6-8. They've actually played pretty decent.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for a practice squad special teamer screwing up that blocked punt against Cincinnati, they would have won 4 straight games with a backup quarterback, Cooper Rush.
Yeah. I
know it's the Giants. I know it's Carolina. I know you got Washington on a bad week, and you lost to the only somewhat good team in Cincinnati. Are they? They're clearly playing hard for Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Should they consider keeping Mike McCarthy?
No. I mean, yes. You know what? Looking at it from somebody that's not too fond of the Cowboys being here in Pittsburgh, they should keep Mike McCarthy because they're not going to do anything with him. Nothing will happen with him coaching this team.
Yeah, but do we really think he's the problem? I think the problem is you're paying a ton of money.
There's a lot of problems. I think Jerry Jones is one of the biggest problems, to be completely honest with you. And then from there, I think it's poor coaching, and then I think it's poor contract management, and then now you're just screwed.
I would say if I could blame Pie this entire franchise right now, I would put 98.5% on Jerry Jones, and I'd put 1.5% on Mike McCarthy. So you can fire him. You can fire him, but it literally will not matter. This will be the exact same team. What did I say all of this offseason and last season? Here's what the Cowboys are going to be. Pretty good. Now this year I expect them to fall off a cliff, but the last 5 years, pretty good.
Okay.
Like, you could bring in a new coach. You know what they're going to be next year?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. They're going to be average. They're going to be league average.
Be okay.
Maybe slightly below. Maybe slightly above. They're going to be okay. And if they're good enough to make the playoffs, they'll be one and done. Yeah. And if not, they'll okay.
Because that's what they do.
It's going to be regardless of the coach. Fire Mike McCarthy if you want. I don't think he's the problem, and I don't think there's a solution that makes you markedly better.
No.
So
it's bad. Guys, that was Hits and Misses. Make sure you go check that out. That will be posted everywhere. TheIssueSports.com will take you there. But now we have the power rankings to get to. So we are going through the top 10 NFL teams going into Week 16 here, getting you a good temperature gauge going into the back half of the season. Let's go. I guess not going into the back half of the season, but now that we are in the back half of the season.
Right. Okay, so Let's give our little honorable mention here. So, of course, we'll start at 10 and go to 1. The 4 or 5 that didn't make the cut, Commanders, Broncos, Texans, and Chargers were just on the outside looking in. So let's jump in to number 10, the Los Angeles Rams. In a coach quarterback league, I'm getting Matt Stafford and I'm getting Sean McVay. Love that about them. Obviously, it's a coach quarterback. Add weapons into that. Oh, good, because they have Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, right? Kyron Williams, Blake Corum in the backfield. They have the pieces that they need. I'm a little bit worried about the whole, defense is a sieve against Buffalo, and then you can't score against the Niners. I'm very yin-yang on that concept because it's not great that you gave up that many points and then the following week couldn't score that many points. But on the flip side, you're winning games in multiple ways. You can win ugly. You can win a shootout. I like the direction of the franchise. I like the fact that Matt Stafford's playing some of the best football of his career.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I was going to say. I mean, when you have a quarterback like Stafford and he's that consistent and he's going to deliver in the big moments. Like, you know that about him. He has the the experience. He's been there before.
The push comes to shove. He's got the it factor. So, number 9, let's go with Tampa Bay.
Yep.
This may be the most underrated offense in football since Mike Evans got back. They're averaging over 30 a game for the last couple weeks, again, since he has gotten back from that injury. Baker Mayfield running more than he ever has in his career. No wonder Tampa Bay has the most first downs. This is the most first downs in Baker's career up to this point in the season. So the Buccaneers, they're moving the chains. Good field goal game. They're just getting points. And since Mike Evans came back, like I said, averaging over 30 a game, Tampa Bay at 9.
You know what? I got to hand it to him. I will give us an extra little miss here. I know we just came out of hits and misses. We said that Cleveland was going to be the best situation that Baker ever had. I would say that we were flatly wrong. I don't think any situation can be good in Cleveland. Ever since he's been in Tampa, this Bucs team just looks different.
Couldn't agree more. Number 8, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know that they lost to Philadelphia. I know their offense can get stagnant at times. At the end of the day, since Russ has gotten here, they've only lost, twice? Yep. It's still a good operation. Defense is still top-notch. I worry a little bit about injuries as Pickens going to get healthy. How healthy is TJ Watt, right? How healthy are some of the guys on the defense? That's a bit of a concern. At the end of the day, they can still run the football. Russ still has a really, really good deep ball. Yeah. Defense is plenty good enough. And I think they are going to beat Baltimore this weekend, and I think they're going to beat Kansas City the following weekend. So they already clinched a playoff spot. I'm not worried about that. You're going to look up here in a couple weeks and be like, oh, they're okay. They're okay. Let's not panic over one loss.
It's just about staying healthy. That's the thing. If they can stay healthy, they'll continue to be on this list, and they'll climb up this list. But as soon as they start getting banged up a little bit, that's where I worry about the Steelers because they're not a very deep team.
It's fair. Number 7, Minnesota Vikings. It's one of those, again, a yin-yang, a bittersweet. They're this high on the list because Sam Darnold's been playing so well.
Playing his ass off.
They're this low on the list because at any very moment, Sam Darnold could be Sam Darnold. And it very much concerns me. Very much concerns me. I like the defense.
Volatility.
It's very volatile. But so far this year, he's been good. But you just wonder if it's still in him somewhere. I like Brian Flores in the defense. I worry, again, a little bit about the Sam Darnold thing. And at the end of the day, they can kind of get pushed around a little bit on offense. They can get put off their spot.
Sure.
It's a very timing and rhythm offense because they are, I don't want to say reliant on a good coach, but they're so scheme reliant, and the scheme is really good. But if you can get them off their spot and off their rhythm, they can kind of look out of sorts. That Arizona game, for example, and then they had to fight back late, right? So a couple games like that where it's been nip and tug, if you will, so the Vikings at 7.
And that's why I think they are a very good team. Obviously a top 10 football team. But the thing that worries me is those bad matchups can start to burn them a little bit. When they play a defense that knocks teams out of their rhythm, that kind of pushes back a little bit, a top 5 defense in the league, that's where I kind of think they hit a little bit of a skid. If they play the Steelers tomorrow, I'm not going to lie, I like the Steelers, just only because the defense I think is going to smother Darnold.
Right. Here's the good thing, though. They are right now in line to get the 5 seed. They would play the 4. Right now, that would be Tampa. And now, I know we just talked about how good Tampa is. Tampa doesn't have a great defense. That's a decent matchup for that team. That's not awful.
Because
you could get Philly.
Best case scenario. Best case scenario, you get Tampa.
Correct. Number 6, Baltimore Ravens. You still get Lamar. Good run game with Derrick Henry. A Super Bowl winning head coach. Ton of components I like. I don't think they'll ever crack the top 5. The remainder of this list. I don't believe your defense can be that bad and still be a top 5 team. I don't know. Now, granted, we're going to talk about the number 4 team on this list because they, depending on how they respond to the injuries, again, we'll get to that, they may have to drop out. But, again, the Ravens, very good team, potent in offense. Would not want to play them in the playoffs because of their ability to drop 40 on your head at any given moment.
I don't love that.
I just don't know if that bad of a defense can ever be top 5 in football.
They are, I mean, just, you can't hemorrhage points like that and expect to win in this league.
Correct.
I mean, that's one of the biggest things.
But they have maybe the second best quarterback in football right now. So
yeah, but is that going to be enough to get it done?
Well, that's I'm just saying that's why they're this high on the list.
Yeah.
But in terms of Super Bowl, you never know. Probably not. Number 5, the Green Bay Packers. Here is where I think you start your can win a Super Bowl count, right? I think
this is the Super Bowl bubble now?
I would say this is like the edge of the Super Bowl bubble here. And I would put the Packers at 5. I think we have a top 10 head coach, and we just discussed that in Matt LaFleur. I think we have a top 10 quarterback in Jordan Love. I think he's maybe closer to 5 than 10. I think we have a top 5 running back in Josh Jacobs. I think top to bottom, that receiving core, 1 through 4, 1 through 5, may be the deepest in the league. I don't think they have the high-end number 1, but I think 1 through 4 may be the best receiving core in the league. 2 really good tight ends. They always have a good offensive line. And since they hired Boston College head coach, now their defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley, this season, this defense has been much better. Much, much better. Did you see them get after Sam Howell last night?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So I would put the Packers at 5. This is the start of the Super Bowl bubble for me.
Yep.
Number 4, Detroit. This is the team where, depending on how they respond to injuries, I'm not going to hold the Buffalo game against the defense too much because of how good Buffalo is. If they go out the next week or two and their defense lays an egg, they're going to have to drop out of the top 5 because, again, a team that bad on defense cannot be in the top 5. Mm-hmm. But Jahmyr Gibbs is really good. I think they'll be fine without Montgomery.
You think?
Jared Goff with time is really, really good. I think they're going to be fine. Jared Goff with time is unbelievable. Good tight end. 2 or 3 good receivers. And actually, since Hutchinson's been out there, pass rush hasn't been great, but it's been serviceable. So in spots, they still can get pressure on the quarterback. Detroit at 4.
I just don't like the Montgomery thing as much. I think this is still one of the most powerful teams in the NFL, though. It just bothers me on those like short down and distance right there. You know, like what are you gonna do?
Sure. Jahmyr Gibbs can still run between the tackles. It's fine. Number 3 here, Philadelphia Eagles. Best running back in football. Top 15 quarterback. Decent head coach. Is it the best roster in football?
Really good.
1 through 53. 1 through 53.
They are solid, and the weapons that they have elevate Jalen Hurts. Like you don't need a top You don't even need a top 10 quarterback if you're going to have that amount of weapons. Like, just give it to the giant guy, A.J. Brown, out there. Throw it to number 11. You'll be fine.
I got to say, I got to give him a ton of credit. Post Jason Kelce retirement, and as Lane Johnson has aged, I expected this offensive line to regress a little bit.
They haven't.
They look better.
Yeah.
They look better. Outside of TJ Watt getting some pressures, Jalen Hurts had a ton of time to throw.
I'm actually really impressed with how they handled TJ Watt, too.
I couldn't agree more. I would say Philadelphia has the best, maybe with Detroit, offensive line in football.
Yeah.
Number 2, Kansas City. Look,
They've
they
fallen.
still...
This is the first time
they have fallen.
They're off the number 1 spot.
They have fallen. But they don't fall very far. Still have one of the best quarterbacks in football. I worry about the injury, but I think he'll rest up, come back on Christmas Day, and be just fine. They have a good interior offensive line, good run game with Isaiah Pacheco, who's back. Their weapons are starting to click, DeAndre Hopkins, and they still have one of the best defenses in football. They made Jameis look like a JV quarterback, which he may be, but they made him look even worse. So I would go Kansas City at 2.
100% agree. They're shaky a little bit, which is why I'm okay with them falling. Main thing, question here for you, just personally. If you get to Christmas and he is not starting, are you selling your tickets real fast? Just want to know.
Honestly, I think I would put them up for an hour, like the day before. I'd put them up for an hour and see if somebody buys them. To kind of see what the interest is. I wouldn't be like a day of. I want to go into Christmas Day knowing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because like the last thing you need on a holiday is like, am I going? Am I staying? Like,
right.
Not doing that. But yeah, Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
I will absolutely. If he is ruled out, I'll throw him up there, and if I can get double face value, then I'll sell him. Yeah. Okay. If I get anything less than double, I won't.
I was just wondering.
Yeah. And number 1, the Buffalo Bills. Best quarterback in football, best offense, one of the better run games. Defense is a sieve, but I don't know if it matters when you have Superman at quarterback. I think eventually they figure out some of the issues on the back end. Sean McDermott's a good defensive coach. I'll trust him in moments and situationally to kind of tighten it down a little bit.
Sure.
So yeah, I would go Buffalo 1.
I mean, it's hard to argue with it. If you've watched football, it's one of the eye test things. If you've put on a game of NFL football in the last 4 or 5 weeks, yeah, you understand. The Bills at number 1 totally makes sense here, and they are, I think, seemingly the favorite to make it to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. And if they make it there, I like them to win it. So that's my kind of way too early prediction.
The more I look at it, the more I think I want to put the Eagles above the Chiefs.
I don't know. They seem okay.
It's
there
very
for now.
close.
Wait another week or two, and we'll know. Guys, to run back through it, we have the Buffalo Bills at 1, Kansas City Chiefs 2, Philadelphia Eagles sliding in at 3, and then the Lions, Packers, and Ravens at 4, 5, 6, respectively. The number 7 Vikings, the number 8 Steelers, in 9th the Los Angeles Rams, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and in 10th, the Los Angeles Rams. There you go, rounding out the top 10 teams going into Week 16.
Exquisite. Absolutely exquisite.
We love it. All right, guys, we are going to head into a break here. When we come back, we will have our Week 16 predictions along with the Week 16 bets hitting at 64% on the year.
All right, welcome in. We're back. What's it, the 19th?
Yes, the 19th.
Okay, I think that's maybe the first time I've gotten it right in a couple weeks, so
It is.
Good to see. Welcome back in. The Issue, YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Amazon. Did I miss any major ones? Google, all of them. I don't know. We're on Google Podcasts. Do they even have Google Podcasts?
Yeah, we're on Google Podcasts.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, I had no idea.
One of the places you can listen.
Oh, good. Thank God. But either way, we appreciate you being here. So, if you missed it, we had our top 10 NFL teams last segment, so make sure you go back and check that out. This segment, we will have predictions and bets on a budget, 64% on the year.
Fantastic.
Nailed it.
We were really high flying there for a second. We got all the way up to 68% and then took a slight step back. But that's okay.
We only have, 2 losing weeks this entire year?
2 losing weeks on the season, that is all.
It's crazy. We were 3-2 last week.
Yeah, it's been a good one, guys. No matter how you're with us, we appreciate it. Just like Tim said, the plethora of different avenues that you can get to watch or listen to the show, no matter how you're joining us, means a lot to us. So we have a ton to get to. Not many weeks of predictions left. So just for anybody who's keeping count, I am up 9-6 in predictions. Now, the thing is, you can still sweep and tie 9-9, but the individual picks is what it's going to come down to.
Like 11.
And you're down 11. So you're down 11 picks. We have 5 splits this week?
5 splits.
Okay, so you got some ground to make up, but you have the means to do it. Guys, every pick for every game in Week 16. Let's go.
All right, Broncos at the Chargers. It starts out with a split. I'm taking the Broncos. I'm getting a healthier team. I don't know who's going to play for the Chargers. Herbo's beat up. Lad McConkey's beat up. You lost J.K. Dobbins. He's already out for the year. Their defense is banged up. So I'm getting the more healthy team. And it's indoors. There's no weather. There's no altitude. There's no issues in SoFi. So in that controlled environment, I'm taking the healthier team. I'll take Denver.
I'm going to take the Chargers just because I still do love Justin Herbert. I see what they do week in and week out. They are a very good football team. But I will say, to your credit, you have a good one in your back pocket here. So you got, Bo Nix, who is having a fantastic season. The only thing that we don't like about him, we talked about it earlier, is that he is unproven at this point in the season. We just don't know what to expect from him. I think it could be very good things, but I don't think it's his time yet. I'll take the Chargers
for sure. Houston at Kansas City. I'm going to take Houston. The uncertainty at quarterback is an issue for me with Kansas City. Obviously, the injury to Mahomes, and they haven't been able to protect any quarterback. Carson Wentz, Mahomes, put anybody back there, there's going to be an issue in terms of the pass protection. So I'm taking the Texans.
I'm taking Houston as well. The injury to Mahomes, something that I think this is a team where they don't have the flashiest guys at the biggest positions. They don't. Mahomes makes them look great. Mahomes is the reason why you can have a couple 2s and 3s on your receiving core and still look elite. So without Mahomes, I don't like the direction of the Chiefs. I will take the Texans.
Okay, Pittsburgh at Baltimore. I said it very, very, very early in the show. I think Pittsburgh goes into Baltimore and wins, gets the season sweep on the Ravens, and I'll stick to that. Feels very low scoring. Feels like a 13-7 type of game. Low scoring, bit of a dogfight, Steelers over the Ravens.
I like the Steelers too, but the key is going to be limiting Derrick Henry. If you can keep Derrick Henry from beating you, you got it, because you play Lamar well. Lamar does not play the Steelers particularly well. So I do like what the Steelers have going on defense. If Pickens is back, I'm not sure. I feel like it's still day to day. I like the Steelers even more. That's the only thing that makes me a little bit, it has me a little bit cautious, just because the Steelers offense without Pickens is bad.
Yeah. Two pretty easy ones in a row here. Giants at the Falcons. Falcons are a better team and they're at home.
Yep.
Giants are pretty lifeless. And then the Cardinals at the Panthers. I'm going Cardinals. For a very split second, I thought Panthers. And then I was just like, don't love it. Saw the line. Vegas is kind of telling us the side, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
No, yeah. Cardinals here. I haven't picked the Panthers all year. I'm going to stick with my trend. Cardinals.
Lions at the Bears. When you're down 11 picks and you're down six, like 3 weeks, basically.
Yeah.
You got to take some swings. I'm taking the Bears to upset. I just praying it's windy, crappy, rainy, snowy, something in Soldier Field on Sunday. We know Jared Goff outside in the elements can be a problem. Really, really have to just pray for some weather, because in that scenario, I actually think there's a chance.
Is this one of those calculated risks where you're going out there, you're taking the Bears?
It's a big risk, but there's a path. There's a path.
So you believe in your heart of hearts.
Now, I believe in my heart of hearts, if there is snow, if there's wind and snow or rain,
accumulated,
I believe I can win. Yes, okay. I believe that the Bears can win the game.
I like the Lions side. It's the more talented team. It's the more proven team. I just think the all-around better team can be the Lions.
Eagles at the Commanders. It was slight pause because it's in Washington, but I'll take the Eagles.
Yeah, I just don't think the Commanders are ready for this game yet. They've played a good season, but Jaden Daniels is regressing. That's a big problem, especially when you get to now when the quarterback play is paramount, especially when you're going in and playing Jalen Hurts and his multitude of weapons, and then facing that Philadelphia defensive front too, which is the best in football if anybody hasn't checked. So I'll go Eagles.
Browns at Bengals, better quarterback. Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals. And what, Nick Chubb's now out with a broken foot, so
correct.
That's done.
Titans at the Colts. We're split here. You're actually going to go out on a limb here and take the Titans. I appreciate that. As somebody who needs every win he can get, I'll take the Colts. Despite the horrendous quarterback play, I'm going to take the Colts because I think Will Levis is actually worse.
Yeah, I'm going Titans. I can't take the Colts. After everything that we've hit on them for this season, at least in Tennessee, I have a defense. I've got a defense.
It's fair. Rams at the Jets. Rams are a better team. Jets are hopeless.
Yep.
I don't know what else. I don't even know what else to say. I just don't like the Jets. I know that they look good on offense the past couple weeks. I just don't think they're very good.
They were the focal point of last week's rant. They're a team stuck, I guess, in purgatory right now. They're like, where do you go?
I say it all the time when people are like, why are they so bad? Because they're bad at playing football, and that's kind of important in the NFL. So they're just not a good team. Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks. I'm a little bit worried because Seattle can get pressure on the quarterback. They can get pressure on Sam Darnold, but I'm going to take the Vikings.
I was going to say, I don't think that's going to bother too much here. They should still win. I mean, Sam Darnold's playing his ass off.
No, he can move around, so they should be fine. Patriots at the Bills.
This is a Bills win. I mean, what needs said
Bills.
Here?
You asked me the minus 14. I like to stay. That was a stay away for me because that's just so many points. And what happens if it ends up being like a blizzard, which it could turn into a blizzard in 2 hours there. So that's why it's a stay away. But the Bills are going to win.
2 hours, try 15 minutes.
That's true. Jags at the Raiders. This is another one where it's like, we'll just flip a coin. You take one, I'll take the other. I'm taking the Jags.
I'm taking the Raiders just because I can't trust the Jags. I also can't trust the Raiders.
I can't trust Desmond Ridder, so I'll take Mac Jones. No, it's a real awesome choice there. Mm-hmm. Niners at the Dolphins. I'm actually going to take the Niners. I think I said it this past week when they played the Rams, and now they didn't win, but they played at least spirited, we'll say, except for Devondre Campbell. He quite literally quit on the team. I think you're going to get the final swing from the Niners. They have to win out, and then they need some help. I think you're going to see the final swing of the 49ers.
I'm going Dolphins just because you're going to see the same thing from that side. I'm not sure on Tua. You're right, we started the show off with that today. I'm not sure what to expect from Miami and what to expect from Tua, but I think the coaching is good enough where he's going to be able to put together a good scheme. I like Mike McDaniel. I'll take the Dolphins.
They tend to crumble a little bit against physical teams, though, so that's another reason why I like the Niners.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay at the Dallas Cowboys. Tampa all day.
Yeah, this is a Tampa win.
What
do
both
the Cowboys?
Both the primetime games. Oh, Sunday and Monday night are both they just feel almost too obvious.
Yeah. Something's going to happen. One of them's going to be enough.
One of them's going to be good. Saints at the Packers.
Packers.
A dome team going to Lambeau.
Packers.
All day long. All day long. So to run back through it, you like the Dolphins, I like the Niners. You like the Raiders, I'll take the Jags. I am, for some reason, taking the Bears. You have the Lions. I got the Colts. You have the Titans. And then I, tonight, have the Broncos, and you have Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
There you go. See, desperate teams do desperate things. Sometimes you got to go out and take a swing on Caleb Williams and the Bears, huh?
I started my season of takes by taking a swing on the Bears, and I'm going to probably end my season on that.
You know what? That's respectable. I can respect that.
Thank you.
Guys,
a man of class.
Yes, absolutely. We have our bets on a budget now. I mean, this has been the coveted segment here. It hasn't moved in its place in the show. We've been closing the show with it every single week. We are currently hitting at 64% on the season. That is a total record of 44, 25, and 1. So it's been a good year. Bets on a budget. Week 16. The 5 best spreads from around the league that we could find. Here we go.
Houston -2 at Kansas City. I just don't know what I'm getting from Kansas City. And we've seen if they have offensive line problems. Do we remember the Super Bowl against Tom Brady and the Bucs?
We do.
It was a disaster. When they have offensive line problems, we've seen aggressive teams wreak havoc. This is a very aggressive. They may not be the best defense. Very aggressive defense. Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson. They don't get that Aziz Al-Shaair back for this game, but the guy who stepped in his place, that Harris, that linebacker, flies around. Very aggressive. So I like an aggressive defense playing against a wounded Kansas City team. Houston -2.
You don't have the Mahomes factor to bail you out here, and that's what scares me for Kansas City. If I had a healthy Mahomes and it was Houston -2, I would take Kansas City plus points. Mahomes plus points is automatic. He'll bail you out of anything that you need bailed out of. He's very, very good, but you're just not going to get that level. If he does play, if not, then, I mean, you're getting nothing.
Yeah. Pittsburgh +6 at Baltimore. Tomlin is an underdog.
This one is crazy to me.
I know it backfired this past week against Philadelphia, but I think Philadelphia is much, much better than Baltimore. I think Pittsburgh matches up with Baltimore a lot better. And it's AFC North football. It's going to be in Baltimore. I would imagine cold, windy, crappy. I will take Pittsburgh. We like them to win outright. At bare bones minimum, it feels like a close loss.
Yeah, Pittsburgh here is definitely the side. I am just shocked that Baltimore's getting 6 points. I just don't know where it's coming from. I know the Steelers' offense is a little lackluster without Pickens. I said that earlier in predictions. But, I mean, come on. You have the best defense in the league. You think Lamar is just going to be historically he's going to go against everything he's done historically with the Steelers and be fantastic? I say no.
Arizona -4 at Carolina. It's a rule. We always take pretty much always take -4s.
Yeah.
I think we have like twice not taken a -4, and it's burned us both times. So you always take the -4. Arizona -4 at Carolina.
I mean, Kyler's been playing good. Like that, the Arizona team there has been. I mean,
look, they're
playing decent football.
If you just said that they're going into the season, Arizona's going to 7 games, I think they would take that.
Yeah.
And they're 7-7. They may win more than 7. They should win more than 7. So it's been an overachieving type year for them.
Yep, and it is a role of ours, so -4.
Yep, the Giants +10 at Atlanta. I don't love the team. I don't. But think about how bad teams keep games close or even win football games.
Pass rush.
Line of scrimmage and pass rush. Atlanta can be run on when they're on defense, and the defensive line of the Giants can control that offensive front in Atlanta. I like the Giants to kind of muddy it up on the offensive line and defensive line in the trenches. I think Atlanta wins. I still think it's about a touchdown game. I think it's 20-13. I'll take Atlanta. I think it stays somewhat close, maybe even a field goal late to give us a cover.
Yeah, I love that one. I don't like betting Atlanta, but at this one, it just kind of
We're betting against Atlanta. That's what's even better.
Okay.
We never bet for Atlanta.
Okay. Anything with Atlanta in it makes me a little
Gives you
weary.
some pause.
Yes.
That's fair. Tampa Bay -4 at Dallas. Once again, we always bet -4s, and it feels like the line's too low. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like this should be more of like a -6, 6.5. Yeah, that's what I thought it would be. I think if it's in Tampa, it's probably -5.5 or 6, which is kind of a dead number. 5.5 is dead, but Tampa -4, lively number. I'm taking it.
Well, and that's the one that jumped off the page at us too. Like as soon as we opened up everything, we started looking for bets, looking for lines. You saw it, bang.
That one and the Pittsburgh one, first 2 we put on our card.
Yes.
So
we would say those are the locks of the week.
Sure, I would say Tampa absolutely. Houston -2, Pittsburgh +6, Arizona -4, the Giants +10, and Tampa -4. 3 favorites, 2 dogs.
Well, guys, there it is. Bets on a budget for Week 16, shaping up to be a good one. Do I smell 5-0?
I sure hope so.
That would be sweet. Just boost the numbers here a little bit at the end of the season on already great numbers. But, guys, if you've stuck around this far, we appreciate it. Go check us out. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You can find everything there. TheIssueSports.com will take you there. Go check it all out. We got a ton of stuff all the time. New episodes dropping every Thursday. But, guys, we will be back next week for episode 256. Review Week 16. Talk a little Week 17 upcoming action. You're not going to want to miss it. And that was The Issue.